Many Vietnam veterans on the 37th Never Forgotten Honor Flight waited to see the memorial dedicated to friends, family, and strangers who served during the war. Many looked for names of people they lost. A Marshfield veteran came to D.C. with one person in mind and was sure to honor him on the trip.
Never a day goes by that I don't think of David.
Bill Knudsen knew when he came on the honor flight there was one memorial in particular he had to visit and one name he had to see.
This was to visit the man I call my first friend.
Knudsen and David Height were born 2 months apart in Buffalo, New York. They lived just down the street from each other.
We were separated by a distance of about 50 feet.
Unbeknownst to Knudsen at the time, they were also within 50 feet of each other in Vietnam. When he came home from the war, Knudsen picked up a newspaper and saw that Height had died in Vietnam.
It bothered me for a long time.
Since then, Knudsen had always thought of Height when doing work with and for veterans.
Well, I dedicated that year and every year since to David's memory. We would be the same age now.
Knudsen's neighbor Tyson Slade accompanied him on the trip and got to learn more about stories like Height's.
I knew he was a veteran, but I never really got to hear his stories from actually being in service and in Vietnam.
Knudsen and a number of other veterans on the trip were in Vietnam around the same age Slade is now.
Trying to relate to what that would be like if I was him, but it's so hard to, but it's great to hear his story.
The trip was an experience Slade was glad he got to share with Knudsen, who is now more than just a neighbor.
We're always going to have this special connection and this special bond over being able to come to D.C. for the honor flight together.
It's a new bond that was formed, while Knudsen also kept an old bond in mind.
David, if you have any way of knowing this, I miss you. We've done our best for you.
Knudsen etched 3 tracings of Height's names, one to take home with him, one to send to Height's sibling in North Carolina, and one to go with him when he is buried.